Hello, welcome back to the Creative Differences podcast. I am Dallas, and I think Paul Dano should be locked up just to be safe.
I'm Gabby, and I am excited to hear what everybody thought about the Batman.
I'm Colin, and I don't think Paul Dano should be locked up because when he's locked up, he screams.
Oh, God. I'm afraid.
And I'm Demi, and man, it feels like I've waited forever for this movie to come out. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Fancast Fridays, Throwback Thursdays, and a number of other pop culture-related items. Today, we are finally doing a review for The Batman, but also we're reviewing the TV series, The Afterparty.
Actually,
Woo!
if you wanted to say it like the opening title, it would be The Batman.
What?
You'll understand when you see it, Gabby. So, like, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, guys. Come on, man.
Yes, because if you don't, I don't know what's going to happen. But Colin sat through a 3-hour Batman movie for you people.
I did.
And he even liked
did.
Batman.
I
Like,
know.
he doesn't like the character.
It's
so
true.
Reward him for his time.
Yeah, engage with me. Talk to me about things.
Yeah, he didn't even talk. So, like, if he's asking you to talk to him, that's special. So talk, please.
It is.
It's a rare episode. Before we start doing our reviews, we're going to dedicate this episode to a friend of ours who just recently passed, Robert Mesa. He was a very big supporter of our podcast. He was also a very good friend of ours.
Yeah.
He loved movies and was one of the main people I talked to about DC movies, to be honest.
He was big on DC.
Was my Harley Quinn homie. Me and him talked about Harley Quinn all the time. So yeah, I want to dedicate this episode to him because, man, he would have loved this.
He would have. I wish I could see his thoughts on this long-ass movie.
I
love you, Rob.
I know that I would have had a text message from him like immediately after going, what'd you think of the movie? I had one immediately after the Suicide Squad. So,
Oh.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So
Harley's his gal.
you guys want to start us off with your review for The Afterparty? Because I know that Batman is going to take us forever.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about The Afterparty.
Woo.
So we talked about it a few episodes ago. At that point, I think there were like 5 episodes out.
Yeah.
And I don't think Colin had seen it.
No.
No, you
And I
watched it
hadn't
after.
either.
You
Oh, it
talking
was just
about
me
it
talking.
Yeah.
was what got me to watch it.
Yes. Shout out
Same.
to me. And shout out again to Brandon for putting me on. Like I said last time, it was created by and directed by Christopher Miller of Lord and Miller fame. You know, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Jump Street, Lego Movie, all that fun stuff. Stars Tiffany Haddish, Sam Richardson, Zoe Chow, Ike Barinholtz, Ben Schwartz, Alana Glazer, Jamie Dimitriou, and Dave Franco.
Woo.
The summary is still, when a high school reunion's after party ends in death, everyone is a suspect. A detective grills the former classmates one by one, uncovering potential motives as each tells their version of the story, culminating in the shocking truth. I talked about it by myself, so I'm going to pass it to you guys. What do you think of the show? Gabby and I have finished it. Colin did not because,
It was not for him.
yeah, I was going to find a way to insult him, but why do that?
Thanks. So, I mean, I watched 5 episodes, I think. I think it was 5. Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting because the first few episodes I was like, yeah, I dig this. I think I just don't have, and this will come up later, I think I don't have patience for mysteries.
Oh.
I
Oh.
lose
That makes
interest
sense.
in mysteries really fast.
True, you didn't like Knives Out either.
No, I didn't. Yeah.
Also, it wasn't a big one on Murder on the Orient Express to a degree. He liked the goofiness of it.
This is true. I
Mysteries
mean,
ain't your bag.
Only Murders in the Building is the only mystery I've really, really liked, and I think that was because it felt more about the people than the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
But yeah, like I like what it does, and that's the thing, right? Is that I can jump into season 2 of The Afterparty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no reason I can't, so I'll give it another try
Sure.
because
It's going to be
the new cast, except for Tiffany Haddish, and
Yeah.
she's great.
She
It's
is
going to be
great.
an anthology. Yeah. Which I like. My favorite character, I want to talk about my favorite character. My favorite character is Danner.
Interesting.
Because
I like her
Danner
too.
is
She's
so
dope.
good at their job.
She's really
like,
good.
She seems like she doesn't know what she's doing, and she seems like she's not listening to people, or if she is listening, she's mostly listening for her own self-interest.
Right. Like, oh, this is getting juicy. over
Yeah,
here, man.
exactly. But no, it's simply a tactic to get more information out of people. And like just that sort of character intelligence that kind of slides under the radar, I love because it means that you're in good hands probably most of the time. It's
Yeah.
like a Benoit Blanc, but Benoit Blanc was like, he made it clear from the jump that he knew what he was doing. And Danner kind of took you on this sort of roller coaster where you were like, does she know what she's doing?
Yeah.
And then at the end you were like, oh, she did the whole time. And just like her interrogation method was like very clever, I thought.
Yeah.
And so she's just like, I just love how smart she is and how she can see the big picture and how like people just tell her everything because of the way that she's asking questions.
Yeah. I agree with all of that. Just the last episode, and Colin, I wish you got to the end just because of the way, like, I enjoy mysteries, but I'm not like, ooh, a mystery. But the way that they wrap everything up is so genius to me. Obviously, I'm not going to say what happened, but like Gabby's saying, little things here and there that we see over the course of the season all matter at the end.
Yeah.
And it's little things that Danner says and does, and then she brings it back in a way that, like, oh my God, that I forgot. I didn't even think about that. But she thinks about everything because Tiffany Haddish is super dope.
And it's one of those shows that if you rewatch it, you're going to be able to see all the clues, which I like.
Yeah, which was cool for me because I watched, I think, the first 6 or 7 and then started watching with Kayla. And I was watching, oh yeah, I've seen that. I remember that. But my favorite character is still Jasper. Ben Schwartz is amazing. He's so silly. His episode is a musical, and it's great. I love the creativity of doing everything in a different way. Like Zoe's episode is animated almost entirely.
Yep, that was awesome.
And the way that they kind of address her like inner issues, but in an animated way. So it's like, oh, Fun Zoe's coming out. It's like, maybe you shouldn't just let Fun Zoe out every 7 years. Like, maybe you should try to do things for yourself.
Yeah, and then Mama Bear Zoe.
Yeah, Angry Mama, Little Rage Zoe. And yeah, I think it's great.
And each version fits the character, right? It's not like the like version of their Mind movie didn't fit who they were. Like Zoe was an art student and then an art teacher. Mm-hmm. And so it made sense that hers is animated.
Right. You have all these illustrations for her. She works with kids. It kind of looks like a kid's animated style.
Yeah.
Part of me wishes that Indigo got a full episode.
Yo, that shit was wild.
Okay, this is the thing. Like, from what I did see, she was my favorite character.
She was wild.
She's so ridiculous.
And I think the thing is, she doesn't need her own episode.
No.
Because I think she's better used sparingly. Because I think if she got her own episode, it might get annoying.
Yeah.
But when she can just come in and be like, hey, do you want to join my pyramid scheme? You don't have to vaccinate your kids. Like, yes, absolutely. I love you.
Or like her, like the breast milk making it into cheese. Ugh. But like the art house movie that we got for like less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, for me, it's more about how they would tell that story, how they would do that episode. Makes me want to see it because I do think Indigo is a perfect background character.
Yeah.
But I want to see the full-length art house after party episode because that would be hilarious.
Oh, goodness. It would be silly.
Chris Miller is so good at doing all these different styles.
Yeah. Even
with Deanna's episode, like the police procedural.
Oh, yeah. That one was great.
Where shout out to Dr. Dan from Venom.
Yeah,
Scott Reed, I think is his name.
I think so.
Something Reed. He was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good episode. And they kind of showed, she's good at this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's dope. I recommend it. It's very fun, very funny. Man, Colin, just watch the last episode. It's so good.
It is really good.
And also, I know that you know what happens because you're a weirdo and you spoil things for yourself.
Oh, no. I was this close to spoiling it for myself, too. I was. I'm surprised I made it.
Dallas, this is what happens when we hang out with people who can't handle the anxiety of not knowing what happens.
No, I can't.
It's not that.
No, for me, it was that.
I feel like for Gabby,
I know that's absolutely. Gabby,
I know
that's
for
absolutely
Gabby.
what it was. Oh, yeah, it was
but for
absolutely
Colin,
that.
I think he was just like, I'm not going to watch it, but
exactly.
Let me see what happens.
Colin, whatever. Colin does that.
Yeah.
But Gabby, I'm like, she can't handle the anxiety.
No,
of not knowing.
I was like, the only reason I didn't was because it wasn't out yet. Like there was no answer yet. Like, and but as soon as the episode came out, it like showed up right on my Google main page, and I was like, click, 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 click.
Goodness.
And I even double checked to make sure there wasn't going to be an episode after it, that this was going to be it.
Right.
Oh yeah, and there was a kids movie in the last episode too, so that was very sweet.
Little Maggie. It was adorable.
Yeah, it was very, very cute.
But yeah, I did not see it coming. They did a really good job because there are a few characters that look like red herrings to me.
Yeah.
Okay, this person's too obvious. This person's too obvious. I'm like, maybe that person did it.
There was a couple of people that I was like, oh, it's gonna be them, or in my I thought, oh, maybe it's gonna be an accident, but no, like
it was somebody.
It's a murder.
Tis a murder. But yeah, that's the after party. We all like it. Colin likes some of it. It's good stuff. Speaking of murder and mysteries,
murder too. Sorry.
Let's talk about the Batman.
Batsy.
Directed by Matt Reeves, who made Cloverfield and the Dawn and War of the Planet of the Apes movies. And it's also written by Matt Reeves and Peter Craig, who wrote The Town, the Mockingjay movies, and Bad Boys for Life.
Is the town that one Ben Affleck movie?
Yes.
Town is that one
See.
Ben Affleck movie.
Cool.
See.
That everyone loves.
It's so good.
Oh, is it? I haven't seen it.
I've never seen it either, but I only hear great things about it.
It's so good. Stars: Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Paul Dano, who should be locked up, Jeffrey Wright, John Turturro, Peter Sarsgaard.
Saying that.
It keeps being true. Andy Serkis and Colin Farrell. The IMDb summary states, when the Riddler, a sadistic serial killer, begins murdering key political figures in Gotham, Batman is forced to investigate the city's hidden corruption and question his family's involvement. I don't know whose voice that was.
Yours.
Yeah.
Apparently.
But like, I don't know
that
like,
came out of nowhere.
what voice
That came
I was
from
going for.
deep within.
Like the old school movie trailer guy.
In a world where Paul Dano should be locked up,
You can't keep saying that.
we still letting this nigga walk the streets.
He's just an actor. He was doing a job.
He's doing a great job, apparently.
He's doing too great of a job.
You're like, I'm concerned.
Yeah, just put him somewhere until we can figure out what's going on with him. Like, just for now.
Oh, God.
Anyway,
I'm going to go see that movie.
let's talk about the
now. I
Batman.
have to.
Initial thoughts. Demi didn't talk about the after party because she didn't see it. So let's start with Demi.
This is now my favorite live action Batman movie. It definitely lived up to the expectations that I had for it. For me, it has most of the best things that have been in Batman films. And it's like, I think, in my opinion, the most Batman live action movie to ever Batman.
I see what
What?
you mean.
Please explain.
She'll explain.
I will.
Colin, initial thoughts.
Okay. So here's the thing. When we got out of this movie, Kayla asked me to grade it on the American grading scale from A to F.
American grading, yes.
Well, I have to make sure we have people who listen internationally.
That's true. I like that.
So,
Okay.
Anyway,
Global.
so here's the thing. It's difficult because I gave it a B-, and I stand by that except for one aspect we'll get to later.
Okay.
I have to grade part of it separately.
Interesting.
But overall,
I look
like,
forward to getting to that.
I don't know. It's just, I think, as I said, I'm not in mysteries. Like, I went to the bathroom during the movie, and when I came back, I realized I had no idea what the plot was. Like, I just completely lost it. There was something about there was a mole here, but then it wasn't that person, but then it wasn't that person, but then it wasn't that person.
This is a movie where you can't really stop to take a break, or else you really are going to miss a key detail.
Well, see, I took a break at the one point I thought I could miss something, and I don't care what I missed because I know what it is. But I saw all of the plot. I missed an emotional beat, and I'm okay with that. I saw the plot, and I still had no idea. I was just lost. I don't know. It's fine. I feel like it's a good Batman movie. It didn't tell me dick about Bruce Wayne, and I kind of wish it had. Hey, Matt, maybe in the sequels, can they not be 3 hours, please? Can we cut it down?
Speaking of that, let's get to my initial thoughts. It's too long, but it's dope. Man, this movie's so long. But I did enjoy it. I agree with Demi. I think a lot of the aspects they got better than a lot of live action Batman movies. I have an obligation to say this in every Batman review. DCAU Batman is the best, and I will never change my mind. But as far as live action goes, this is one of the better ones. And yeah, I agree with Colin about the Bruce Wayne thing. Like, bro, this movie's 3 hours. You could have had a little more time for actual Bruce Wayne. But
I think
Batman stuff
that's
is cool.
the point, is that Bruce Wayne is Batman in this movie. There is no Bruce Wayne in this movie. He is Batman. Period.
Yeah, but that's not a good adaptation of who these characters are.
But, I mean, we know that Matt Reeves has plans to further it along to make him grow into the Bruce Wayne that we know.
The thing is, though, you could have started that in this movie. And it feel like I feel like there's a line in the trailer where some lady says like, "Oh, your parents used to do this and you're not doing anything." That's exactly who Bruce Wayne is in this movie, and it was really disappointing. I felt like I knew nothing about him, and I don't know anything about him because I don't know who he is.
Right.
I don't read the comics. I don't watch the stuff.
Bruce Wayne is Batman. That's literally who Bruce Wayne is.
Yeah, but like I'd like him to also be a person.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne is a mask that Batman puts on when he goes out, and like in this movie, he doesn't do that. And I feel like there was so much going on in this movie that we needed Batman pretty much the whole time. And to be honest, I feel like maybe not everything that was going on needed to be going on for this one movie, but I am definitely looking forward to seeing where he goes from here. Like, Matt Reeves does a sequel and brings out the Bruce Wayne I'm down to see it.
I believe I heard there are 2 sequels greenlit for this movie.
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
there's a trilogy already planned out, which is why I'm like, I'm not
Okay.
going to worry about it too much because I know Matt Reeves clearly has a plan and DC clearly believes in whatever vision he has.
I don't grade movies on their potential sequels because like this is 1 3-hour movie right now.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this movie for what it does on its own. As a trilogy, if I want to like look at the whole thing when it comes out and think, man, this is a really good trilogy, that's cool. But for me, just what this movie is on itself, like on its own, I feel like that piece was missing.
It's also
But they
like,
got a lot of stuff right.
if the sequel gives me Bruce Wayne, that doesn't make this movie better.
Right.
This movie was still lacking something that I wanted it to have.
I guess I just don't feel that lack.
Yeah, like different things hold different weight for different people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like you can definitely like a movie like, oh, but what about this thing they did? It's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I enjoyed what they did.
Yeah.
And that's me for every adaptation that I don't watch the things for. That's why I love Uncharted. Everybody's like, Tom Holland shouldn't be Nathan Drake. Bro, I don't care. I saw Tom Holland jumping around, pickpocketing people. I'm with it.
I personally loved everything that was done with
Yeah.
this film because I came out of it going, man, that was really good.
Mhm.
But also, holy crap, when is the next movie coming out so that I can see that?
Mm.
Like, I was immediately excited for whatever is coming next.
Yeah.
I thought the writing on this movie was so good. Story is intriguing. Yeah, the movie's 3 hours. It's long. It feels, and I'm not even gonna say like the 3 hours blows by. It doesn't.
Oh,
Like,
it doesn't.
Not
It
at
feels
all.
like you can feel 'em?
that 3 hours.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'm like, there's nothing in this movie that I would cut out. There's nothing in this movie that I could possibly take out to make it shorter because I think it's all
Would
necessary.
disagree with that.
Yeah, but you also don't like mysteries at this point. So.
Well, no, it's not even the mystery elements. I think that there's one aspect that I can't spoil that
No, you cannot.
because it didn't go as far as I wanted it to or thought it could have. I don't think it needed to be there. I can recognize what it adds to the movie. I don't think you needed it, but there's definitely some stuff I think you could have shaved and it would have been okay.
I'm in between the two of you on that because a lot of times I see a movie that's super long and I just start thinking, all right, this don't need to be here. This don't need to be here. Start chopping this up. But
like he did with the Snyder Cut.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh,
You're like,
yo.
did you
Well,
have to?
I was
do
like, Zach,
did
if you do
not
slow
have-
motion
fair.
one more time.
The Snyder Cut is self-indulgent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That zoom in on
And
that Sesame
that's
Seed.
not a theater. Like, I didn't have to go to a theater and sit down for 4 hours. But
You
for
are.
this, it wasn't so much of, all right, this don't need to be here for this story. I just think this story has elements. So if I say we're fine without it, it sounds like I'm contradicting myself. But what I mean is that you did a lot of things here, and not all of them need to be in this. Like, we're doing
It's funny
the
because
story with Falcone. Yeah, the spoilers. I'm trying to like dance around the spoilers. Like Riddler, Catwoman, Falcone, and his ties to spoiler redacted, and then oh, remember your parents.
since we're on the story, I do want to say I went into this movie being really afraid that the story was going to go in one particular way,
Right.
and it didn't. And I'm really happy about that.
Oh, that's nice.
As far as the story goes, I think there's just a little too much in this movie.
A little bit.
A little too many people, too many moving parts.
That's what it is for me.
It comes together. I'm not like it ties together. There's certain
does
ways
it
like,
well.
oh, it turns out that this person knew this and this person did that, and then, but yeah, I just think it was. I think I wanted a little bit more space to breathe, which is why I'd be interested in seeing the spin-off shows that will have more time.
So
you know,
excited about that now.
I do want to see
dude,
those.
we're gonna come back to that because I have thoughts.
Yeah, he does too many things, but he does them all well. So if you make me 4 meals and they're all delicious, I'm not eating all this, bro. I'm full.
Yeah.
I ate the first 2. Thank you. Stop. I'm not hungry anymore. But I'm not going to say that the food was bad. You
Yeah.
just gave me too much of it.
I've just been watching so many, I guess, detective films recently, and a lot of them have a decent length on them. They're not 3 hours,
Right.
but detective films occasionally have a decent length
They
on
like
them.
to take their time.
Yeah, they take their time. They, especially noir movies because they're
Yeah.
slow. You do slow reveals. And I thought that this used a lot of detective archetypes and tropes really, really well.
I'm so glad they did.
I liked a lot. God, the world's greatest detective is
I was
finally
like,
here.
yes, Batman's a detective.
He's finally the world's
He's not
greatest
just
detective.
beating up broke people in the street.
I love it.
See, that's the thing is like, why did it take so like the Arkham games got here first
Yeah.
with detective work, and it's like, why did it take the movie so long to catch up? Like, this has been a thing in the comics. Can we get it, please?
I think Matt Reeves is probably the first director to really look at the source material and think, I like this and I want to do this way. Like, I think Tim Burton was like, ooh, I'm going to get creepy. And then Joel Schumacher was like, let's just see what happens, guys. And then Nolan is, I want to make it realistic. I don't even really want this to be a comic book movie. Let's see if I can make Batman as realistic as possible, which you did a good job, but I think Matt Reeves did a better job because he was, I'm going to make this grounded, but also this is still Batman. I'm going to respect the source material. I'm going to give you references. Like,
oh my goodness. The characterizations in this movie, chef's kiss. I
It's
was
so
so
interesting.
happy because I was just like, I've been reading so many Batman comics in the past month, which we'll get to later.
right.
And just watching the movie, I was like, yeah, this is the Batman that I've been reading in the comic books. Like, that's the Batman I've been reading. That's the Catwoman I've been reading. That's the Falcone I've been reading. That's the Penguin I've been, like, I was like,
Falcone was so dope.
I was like, these are the characters like that I know for the past month that I've been reading in the comic books, more so than any other Batman movie that I've ever watched.
Wow.
Quick point of clarification, because I did get lost. Falcone is the important crime boss, right? Because there were two mentioned, and I was really confused because they had very similar names.
So Falcone
is the big bad.
yeah, John
Maroni.
Turturro.
He's the one we'd like. Okay, cool.
Maroney was
That
the one
was
who
the
got
one.
arrested before all this happened.
Right. Okay. So Maroni's the one we never see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And they're always beefing.
John Turturro plays Falcone.
Falcone.
Oh,
And he does such a good job. I'm so glad to see him.
He's so chill in this movie. I love it.
Right, I'm glad to
It's a
see him
calm
just
menace.
play it calm and menacing because we've seen him in stuff like Transformers and
Yeah.
The Big Lebowski, and it's like he's good at being silly. He's good at being not silly.
He's so he has such a calm menace about him.
I honestly forgot he was in this movie, so I was looking. I was like, "Who is? Oh my God, it's John Turturro."
That, you know what? Actually, since you said that specific thing, that I think was one of my issues with this movie is that every once in a while I would forget that someone was in it because they hadn't been around for a while and I didn't know what they were doing and didn't really care. There was a point at which I forgot Catwoman was in this movie. There was a point at which I forgot Riddler was in this movie because there was just so much going on.
Other stuff going on.
And when it focused on something else, I was trying so hard to focus on that everything else completely went away.
I got you.
This
I want to
is-
clarify.
Yeah.
I meant that when the movie started,
Right.
I forgot John Turturro was cast in
Right.
the movie.
I just, that
Yeah.
made me
Yeah.
think of...
I
He
got you.
wasn't in a lot of the promotional material.
Yeah, so I heard his name and I was like,
Yeah,
oh, right.
I didn't know until I was looking at the cast list just now that John
Yeah.
Turturro was in it.
We should probably move to characters.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't even gotten through all my writing stuff.
Oh, dang.
Get some good writing.
I love Batsy's arc in this movie.
So here's the thing. That's one of those things. I am not great at breaking down stories, which I should be, and I'm not. This is one where I could see there was a very clear arc because they literally told me what it was at the end of the movie.
And at the beginning.
But they really hit it home at the end. Like that narration was like, hello, this is how I changed. But that's kind of awesome because it means that I am interested to see what that means going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the way that they do it feels very much like a comic book.
Yeah,
it's those
I could
little
hear-
boxes you
Yeah,
get
it's
when you
the
first
box.
start reading.
Yeah, it's those
Except
like
it's not-
yellow boxes.
It's not
but
a box. It's not a box in the movie, obviously, guys.
Right.
But it it evokes that feeling,
Yeah,
Okay.
which I love.
it was dope.
Yeah. The intro to Batman, like that first 20 minutes.
Mm.
My
All the
gosh.
Halloween stuff.
Yeah, just it's so mythic, and I love it.
What's up?
Is this based off of A Long Halloween?
It is not, but there are a ton of references to
They
it.
take ties. Yeah, they take elements from it, but like the whole
Okay.
story isn't the
Yeah.
Long Halloween.
Okay,
But-
because it starts on Halloween.
It
That's
starts
why I
on
was like,
Halloween.
what?
As soon as they said it started on Halloween, I was like,
Yeah.
Long Halloween, let's go.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
And also the Riddler.
Yeah.
So.
Matt Reeves directed the crap out of this movie.
You did.
And I'm super excited about his vision for the Batverse. The performances. God, I love them so much.
Wait, are we talking about? Because I need to. Okay, here's the thing. I know normally we go in order of importance, but like I said, I had to grade part of this movie separately.
Who?
This movie gets an A+ for Penguin.
Yes.
Oh my! There's one scene.
He's amazing.
You could take out the rest of this movie and just give me this one scene between him, Gordon, and Batman. I'm set for life. I'll watch that over
It's my
and
favorite
over.
part of the movie.
It's a
And
really good
he's
scene.
getting his own show, and like, you tell me this movie as a Batman movie, whatever. You tell me this movie is an advertisement for the Penguin show, I'm in. Give it to me right now. Like, he's.
Gabby, you're gonna love that scene.
You are.
Oh my
Oh, God.
god!
Just based on what he's talking about.
So
Okay.
good.
It's so good.
I think everybody gives a phenomenal performance in this movie. Colin Farrell is definitely the levity I feel in this
Yeah.
movie because he's a lot more I don't want to say he's a lot more energetic, but there's just his character has a lot more
It's a different
humor.
kind of energy. Yeah.
it's a different energy than everybody.
Paul Dano's
else.
energetic, but
It's
man,
a different type of energy.
not in the way we want
Yeah,
to see.
listen. So apparently Paul Dano did so well that Dallas thinks that he needs to be locked up.
Yes. Like,
Can you talk about Paul Dano's performance?
I gotta say that's high praise.
oh yeah, great job, but in the way that Ari Aster is great at making horror movies.
I
don't.
It's
You probably should
interesting,
be on a
right?
watch list.
Because this is one of those things where I'm separating. I think his performance was stellar. I don't like the character very much,
That's fair.
but I think
I don't think
his
you would.
Well, no, I mean, just the way he was, what he did, how he did it,
Yeah.
just his whole vibe.
I'm not
I
a
was
fan
just
of the
like,
thing.
yeah, I don't like this direction. But that said, Paul Dano, he's good at screaming.
Yeah, bro, stop screaming so
I'm
much.
afraid.
I love it.
He
Really
did a-
deeply afraid.
I mean,
He did a
it's
good job.
well, no, I say keep screaming because that's what you do, but also stop screaming because every time he did it, I started laughing.
Oh, that's what you were talking. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we talked about the movie afterward, Colin said there were parts that
There-
weren't supposed to
oh,
be funny, but made
if
him
I
laugh.
could list them, there's anytime he screamed. There's the shots of Batman flying I thought were awful.
Oh yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of some of the angles on that.
Yeah.
Just the one where it's like right on his face.
See, I
and
was
it's like-
like he's near the top of the screen and it was really weird. But there's like, I don't know. This movie it's weird. I think this movie wants me to take it seriously, but there's so much in this movie that I can't take seriously that it doesn't work.
That feels like calling for most movies that want them to take.
Definitely a good
Seriously.
amount. Because like I didn't laugh when Riddler was screaming like that because I was
Horrified?
so unsettled. Like, yo, Paul Dano needs to go to jail.
You gotta stop saying that. He's an actor. He was doing a job.
He's
Dallas,
doing his job
he
apparently
was
very
scared.
well.
Probably kills people.
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put that out there.
Oh my goodness.
But that's just me
No.
praising his performance.
Ugh.
He's very good at what he does.
Got to talk about my boy Pattinson, who did, I think, a fantastic job as Batman. Definitely my favorite Batman so far. And I can't wait until he gets to be the Bruce Wayne persona because I feel like he's going to pull that off really well. It's just going to be what he looks like on the red carpet for all the Batman premieres.
Yeah.
That's what it's
I
gonna
want him
be.
to slick that hair back so bad. I feel like that's gonna bother me in the movie.
I like
It's
the
his
floppy
hair. In his
hair.
face.
It's so
It's-
cute.
He definitely looks like he just left a My Chemical Romance concert, but
And I love it.
Every time I see him, all I think is "Welcome to the Bat Parade."
No.
Yes, it's perfect.
I hate it.
I love it.
That's
listen,
gonna bother me.
Wait, listen. That is a man who has not slept in
well, see,
days.
here's the problem: is that's another aspect that it's like I'm not taking this movie seriously because you look like you're about to belt "Welcome to the Black Parade" at me, which is fine. That song slaps. That album slaps.
This might be controversial. Zoe Kravitz is the best Catwoman, and she is the closest to the comic portrayal of the character.
I would have liked to see her do more Catwomaning, like not in connection with the story of this movie.
Just like
I mean,
separate, like
Like if
stealing stuff.
if I didn't know who Catwoman was, I don't think I would know who Catwoman was in this movie.
I don't know
like,
if I agree with that.
based on like who she is and what she does, because everything she does in this movie is motivated toward this story, which is good. Like that's good for the movie, but I don't think it gave me a good sense of who she is as a person.
I don't agree with that at all.
So you think you need more of her doing her own side stuff?
Yes.
But also, there's a possibility
Colin.
that she's getting a spinoff
This
anyway.
movie is 3 hours.
not in
Don't have
fine,
time for that.
Not in this movie. This is we
See,
didn't need the director's cut of this movie. Why'd you give it to us straight up? I mean, I get why you gave it to us straight up so that you wouldn't get yelled at later.
Oh
but
my
dog,
goodness.
Where the
No,
leaves cut?
she's got the personality. She so perfectly embodies what Catwoman is in the comic books, and we don't have time to unpack all of that because we're still just on acting, and I still have other things I want to discuss about this movie. But
I
yeah,
feel like they're both cool. Of all the things that I love about this movie, I'd say that they're the two leads. And the two leads aren't really high on the list. Like they're obviously good. They did well. But I look at a Batman performance, and as long as you don't George Clooney it, then I'm just like, yeah, you did
it's
your
not
thing.
George Clooney's fault.
No, it's definitely not his fault. But like he was that Batman, and that Batman was terrible.
I feel like
Sorry, Joel Schumacher.
we might as well talk about Timothy Gordon.
Wait, hold on. Before we move on from Batman and Catwoman, because I've been waiting for my Batcat. Oh my goodness, the two of them feel ripped straight out of the comic book. Like their relationship, their dynamic, the things that they desire, and the way that they clash against each other, but the way that they still like love each other throughout it. I love it so much. And also, they're just the perfect film noir romance. Like I was watching it and I was just like, oh, this is straight out of a noir film. Like it's
Straight out of like Chinatown or something.
yes, I was like, they're so perfect for this genre. Like it's so good. And then like you get to the end of the movie, and even like the way that they settle the relationship at the end of it, I was like, even that is just a film noir ending. It's so perfect. Oh, I was so happy. Just this movie hit all the right detective notes for me.
I did like the detective games.
It was great.
About all that. It's like, yes, Batman, help Jim Gordon. Because these cops are useless.
That was we were talking about Jeffrey Wright, as we should, because I do really enjoy his Jim Gordon, and I think I enjoy the dynamic between Gordon and Batman most in this film.
Yeah.
Because they feel more like partners than Batman goes off and does something and then comes back and reports to Gordon about what he just found.
Yeah. I like it a lot. And they got that GCPD doesn't rock with Batman, but Gordon does.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put myself on the line for you because I know that you're doing this better than we can. And ACAB. So.
I think, the GCPD's getting a show?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we know if that's going to focus around Gordon or the GCPD outside of him?
All we know is that it takes place during year one. At least it was initially it was announced that it took place during year one when the Bat was first emerging.
See, that would be interesting. I hope it focuses on Gordon because I was talking to a friend about this, and the thing that I thought was missing from this Gordon was I didn't know why. I guess he was fighting for Gotham. I like that Gary Oldman had like a family thing. I kind of wish that this Gordon had that, and maybe he will get that in this show. I don't know, But like I don't know. I like that these spin-offs are happening. That's what I think they needed. Is I want more depth. I want more time, and we're gonna get it.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. I think year one would be interesting. I think this Batman is only 2 years into it.
He's in year 2.
Yeah. So I don't know how much it's gonna be like the comic arc and animated movie year one, because that's kind of like when he's first, year one.
I mean, this movie's already very year one.
Yeah. So, but even that movie, it kind of focuses more on Gordon. So I think the show might take
the comic also
notions from
focuses a lot on Gordon.
And Bryan Cranston plays him. He's great. But yeah, I watch a show about cops if it's in Gotham. I did that before and it was weird, but they had some good parts.
Other things I love about this movie, Greg Fraser is now one of my favorite DPs. This movie is gorgeous and looks so different from Dune and Rogue One. The cinematography is so perspective driven, which fits so perfectly for this film. Like, you're seeing it from Batman's point of view, or even if you're not seeing it like an actual POV shot, like we're so close in behind his shoulder that it's basically from his point of view. Somebody pointed out that even the car chase scene, most of the shots are, if we're from Batman's point of view, the camera is from the Batmobile's point of view.
Right.
Or it's from Penguin's car's point of view. And Penguin's car point of view is pointed back towards Batman because Penguin is looking over his shoulder to see if Batman's still following him.
Right.
It's so perspective driven. And just like, man, Matt Reeves had a vision and he carried it out, boy.
Did his thing.
I think Greg Fraser said that Darth Vader's helmet and Batman's cowl are notoriously the hardest things to light on film, and he has done both of them superbly.
Oh, I guess he did, huh?
Yes.
Giacchino's score for this movie might be my favorite score that he's ever done.
Wow. Definitely not mine.
Interesting talking about I think it's an impressive score. I feel like maybe I just didn't notice, but I feel like this movie relied a little bit too heavily on the 4-note thing. I heard a ton of that, and I heard some else, but not, I think, enough.
I liked the motif of using it a lot.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Yeah, it's just the motif, but also Catwoman's theme, whenever they would bring that into it, oh, so good. And I think what I really liked is that if you've listened to Batman's theme all the way through, or Catwoman's theme all the way through, is that they wouldn't necessarily use the full theme. They would take bits and pieces from different parts of the theme and put them in different places where it emotionally fit.
Which makes sense because the Batman theme by itself isn't...
It's not just that bombastic part.
Right.
Yeah.
Bah, bah, bah,
But man, when they used it effectively.
I was doing that to
What's that
Colin
little
the whole
was
time
screaming?
we were in the lobby of the movie theater.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
He was getting very annoyed with me.
Well, because it's so easy to get 4 notes stuck in my head.
It's so easy. I wanted to give a shout out to whoever did the sound design on this film because they did a really good job. The Batmobiles scream before you see it.
So
I was like, this is incredible.
I saw you
That's
tweet
a
about that.
monster.
And I was like, scream? The hell is she talking
Like the
about? It's a
roar
car.
like that.
But then when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, I get it. That's what she's talking about.
That car is screaming.
That thing's screaming.
That car is screaming.
But yeah,
I
that was a
love it.
really good intro to the Batmobile. Also, I like visually this Batmobile because I remember being teenage source material snob and being so upset with how Nolan's Batmobile looked.
Yeah,
It was a tank.
Ugly.
It's a tank and it's ugly. And I want the Batmobile to look more
Like a car?
not like a tank. But this one was dope. And it had the fire shooting out the back. I was like,
Like
oh.
the jet engine?
I was like, oh, they got the fire.
That's really cool.
I loved it.
It's so cool, man. And also another little sound thing that I really love is that you hear Batman approaching before you see him.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. The way they do, like, obviously you have to do Batman coming out of the shadows and that, but I thought the way they did it in this one was particularly fun. Like that opening sequence, the way he shows up, like obviously he's
lot.
gonna come out of the shadows. You know he is, but it's still exciting to see how he does it.
He's wearing black for a reason.
And they let
Yeah.
the shots linger. I remember there's one time he did it. And Kayla leans over to me and she's like, how far away was this nigga? Because there's like the shot is on the shadow for a while and you hear the steps. And then he gets them like, yo,
He's
how
there for
far
a
back
minute.
were you?
Oh, but I love that little aspect that you can hear him before you see him.
Mhm.
Like it's horror movie-esque. Like he is
Mhm.
the monster in the night. He is the creature that you are afraid of under your bed. That's who the
thing.
criminals fear.
Which was
Yeah,
the
and I
point.
thought that they did that well. Like the whole first like 15, 20 minutes
I
was
love
kind
it.
of spent establishing that, and I thought it worked super well.
I
Not
thought-
to mention the whole thing from both sides of it, from Batman's perspective, and then when we cut to Riddler, that shit was terrifying. Like
Yes.
that
Yo.
first shot of the Riddler
my
is
God, that shot
one
was
of the
crazy.
coolest shots I've ever seen.
It's amazing.
I was like, oh, this is what we're in for. Okay, all right, okay.
Alex,
I hate this, but I love it.
I leaned forward in my seat. I was like, oh, this is a horror movie. I was like, let's go. I'm ready.
I knew as soon as I saw that scene, because I waited. God, I've been waiting days to talk to you guys about it because I saw it
Right.
Tuesday before most of the world had gotten to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like in the theater and I was just like, oh my God, this is actually a horror movie.
It's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
just like it's funny because that's a shot that I think I've seen a lot in different things because it's just that concept of a shot.
You're right. Yeah.
But I think what made it worse in this was that he's just a guy. He's just a guy with some tape over his face, and he's very brutal in what he does. And that first shot is just like, I don't like this. I don't like any of this.
Also, it's like just like a serial killer. Just like-
well,
He's a serial killer.
he
Yeah,
is,
Paul
and
Dano.
it's you. You should watch this movie. I think you would like it.
Gabby probably
A
will
lot.
like it. Oh my
You
God.
That
like
scene's going to freak you out.
Murder.
oh,
You do like murder.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
like
but
murder.
Colin, you were talking about that the first 15 minutes from like the Batman perspective of things. And the reason I said I loved it because it was so mythic was because it does create this myth of who Batman is to Gotham, and that's what he's supposed to be. But also there's like this other half of it where like as the movie goes on, it's like Batman's nothing but a man. So he is both man and myth, and it's just this balance of the
See.
two, which is wild to me.
This was interesting to me because the myth part of it, like the first 15 minutes when they show the power of the signal,
Oh yeah.
incredible. Love that. I think they went a little bit too hard in he's just a man. Like the number of times we see him not get whooped, but like,
I love
"Ooh,
that.
you took that fall really hard.
I love
Yeah.
that.
I feel
so
like I
much.
wish I had seen a little bit less of that, but I'm also have to remind myself he's only 2 years into this. He's gonna get better. He's gonna take fewer dings. But I don't know. It just there were some moments where I felt like you're not really. I don't believe in you sometimes because
Well, you're not Batmaning right now.
yeah, you're like
Not yet.
"Ooh, you
There
gonna walk
was-
that off, bud?
Bat boy.
There was one moment where he like basically busts his ass, and out loud in the theater, I went, "Oh shit!" Like,
Damn.
it's like, dang, you took a beating right there, boy.
It's Edward getting beat up.
Oh, that reminds me. I'm so glad you said that. There was a dude in the front of our theater wilding, and he was so funny because there's a scene when Batman is falling off of something, and it's shot very dramatically, and it's quiet, and the guy in the front was just like, Edward.
Oh, that's what that was in reference
Yes.
to. I did not get that. I was like, the Riddler's not in this shot. What are you talking
No,
about?
yeah.
Oh, honey bun.
Edward. I was like, oh, that's funny. And everyone in the theater laughed.
Oh, man. I guess the last point I want to make, there's so much I could say about this movie. I have been thinking about it consistently. I've seen it twice already. But I think the last thing I want to say is that there are so many comic book elements that are actually like, it's not just an Easter egg. There are a lot of really important story and character things that come straight out of the comic book. Like there was one moment where I nearly punched the air. I was so excited from like I was like, oh my gosh, they're actually going with that? That's
Interesting.
actually, like, you took that straight from this comic book. And I was just so excited to see, like, those elements come to life. It wasn't just like, we were inspired by the comic,
Right.
but not, you know, we're not going to
Yeah.
fully
Like we
go
actually
for
want
it.
to.
This one was
go
like,
for
yeah, it's grounded, but we are fully taking things out of these comics
Yeah.
and making them important to the story and to these characters. And that's why I say I feel like this is the most Batman live action movie to ever Batman, because
that.
it really does try to treat its source material with as much respect as it possibly can.
Yeah. I got really excited when Falcone is talking to Bruce about his dad.
That
And
was
thing
one
he
of the moments I
references,
got
was like,
super excited.
hey, they did the thing. But I won't say anything else because, spoilers.
There are several Falcone things that
Yeah.
got taken straight from the comics that I was just like, oh my God, they took that straight out of that comic and that comic and that comic. I was so excited. I could go on about this movie for a while, but we probably
Director's cut for this podcast.
shouldn't. We do need a director's
Trailer
cut from this
tracking.
podcast. But I want to say thank you, Matt Reeves, for the Batcat supremacy, and I can't wait to see where that goes in the future.
Oh, last thing. Caleb brought up the fact that Riddler looks like Screenslaver from Incredibles 2. And I can't drop it now because that freaking mask. And even like the creepy way that he does his like videos and stuff. It's like, oh, that's Screenslaver.
I could talk for a while about those videos and stuff he was putting out too. He was kind of funny at times, I gotta say.
He had his little humor moments. But yeah, that's the Batman. I look forward to seeing what they do next, especially because of how this ends with the Riddler.
Also, the little end credit thing. I don't know if you guys stuck around to see that,
We did.
but the website has released another code,
Oh,
and people
that's
have
fun.
people have already cracked it. And
Of course.
I've read what it says, and I'm just like, ooh, I'm excited.
There was a code.
Yes, there's a code. The radaalada.com website has been giving out riddles from day one.
Yeah, I remember when that first became a thing.
Yeah. So, and it's still going. Still giving out codes and riddles and stuff right now.
That's good marketing.
Good
Yeah.
marketing.
Matt Reeves knows how to market his movies because I remember when Cloverfield came out.
Yo,
Boy, internet was wild.
didn't
But
know
alright.
what was going on. What
That's
you been
the
watching,
Batman.
guys?
What have we been watching?
Or doing? Because I haven't. Mine isn't a watching thing.
It's a doing.
It's a doing.
Gabby, you go first.
I've recently started watching Our Flag Means Death. There are only 3 episodes out, but boy, am I excited. For those of you who do not know, Our Flag Means Death is a period comedy. It's created by David Jenkins, and it stars Rhys Darby, Taika Waititi, Christian Nairn, and a bunch of other people. It's basically, also Joel Fry.
I was going to say my boy Joel Fry.
So I couldn't forget Joel Fry. I think it's produced by Taika Waititi.
Believe so.
Okay, great. And the premise is loosely based on the story of Stede Bonnet, an aristocrat who abandons his life to become a pirate. And it is silly. And I love it so much. It's just this like rich dude who has no idea what he's doing. And he left his wife and his babies, and he's a pirate on the. Yeah, exactly, exactly. I think, and the thing is, I was into pirates when I was a kid. I've heard it's Stede Bonnet.
Interesting.
I just had forgotten his name. I was like, this sounds familiar. This sounds familiar. And no, it is based on Oh Boy, and he was in over his head. That's where the story starts. Is Stede Bonnet's like clearly in over his head, and he's like way too prissy and nice and calm, and like that's the joke of the whole show is that like yeah, there's supposed to be these fearsome pirates, but they've got this captain who's actually very sensitive and listens to their feelings and reads them as bedtime story every night before bed.
Adorable.
And it's adorable and it's silly and it's hilarious. Episode 3, I loved it because Leslie Jones is in it. It's just a really great show. I've really enjoyed it. There's only 3 episodes out right now, but they're doing 3 episodes a week, I believe.
Yeah, that
Oh,
3
okay.
episode drop is just a new thing, I guess.
I'm loving it. They did it with Brooklyn Nine-Nine this year too.
They
So the
did.
next 3 episodes drop March 10th, and I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Nice.
Oh, also Taika Waititi is in it.
Is he
And he
black?
plays
Blackbeard?
Blackbeard,
Okay, that's
and
what I
ooh, he fine.
What are these? Okay.
Okay.
Can you elaborate on these noises?
No,
He
let's not-
fine.
We don't need to elaborate.
That's all we need to know.
Have you thirsted over Taika before?
No,
Is this a new thirst?
not
No,
on
this
the
is not New
podcast.
Thirst, but
This is a
admi-
new thirst?
no, it's not. I love Taika Waititi. I think he's super hot.
I didn't know that.
But I don't think I've like
She hasn't done
thirsted
it on the
podcast.
Every day I learn a new Gabby thirst.
He's super attractive.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's
Our
me
Flag Means
throughout
Death.
the entirety of the Batman. So
Oh, We should do a Splash Zone episode. Like, we should do a Splash Zone segment. Is that okay? Cool. That's our flag means death. So there's something I've been trying to talk about on this podcast for a while, but I needed Gabby to be here, and I needed it to be a review so I could do a what you watching. You ready, Gabby?
I'm
waiting
scared,
for you.
But okay.
I watched all of Ramy.
Ramy.
Yeah.
I love that show.
I know it's so
good.
Okay, so Ramy is created by Ramy Youssef and Ari Katcher and Ryan Welsh and stars Ramy Youssef. I don't look about to say these names. Do
We
you
apologize ahead of time. We're so sorry.
Yes. Ramy Hayam, Abbas, Amir Waked, Dave Merhej, Mohammed Amir, May Kalamawe, and Mahershala Ali. And the IMDb summary is, in New Jersey, Ramy, son of Egyptian immigrants, begins a spiritual journey divided between his Muslim community, God, and his friends who see endless possibilities. So, Ramy is, first of all, is great. I watched all of the episodes in a very short span. And I'm noticing that FX has a thing about comedy shows with terrible protagonists.
Oh, yeah.
Like Always Sunny, Atlanta, Dave, Ramy. They're all hilarious. They're all great shows. And all of their protagonists are not great
people.
Yeah. I feel like Earn from Atlanta is, he dips into being terrible, but he's not always terrible. Ramy is the worst. And there's something weirdly tolerable about him because he's always trying to do better, but he just keeps not doing it.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to be stronger in his faith. So he's like, oh, it's Ramadan. I got to fast. I'm going to go to the mosque. He ends up hooking up with a married woman that night who he meets at the mosque. And it's Ramy, you had one thing to do today. This definitely wasn't it. He goes to Egypt because he wants to get closer to his culture and his spirituality. And then a thing happens with his cousin, and I hate it. It's kind of a big deal, so I'm not going to spoil it. But, man. Also, shout out to Gabby and Brandon. Brandon be putting me on the shows, man.
Mm-hmm. I think Brandon and I have very similar tastes.
I think you do. But, yeah, he was telling me about Ramy, but he was like, yo, because I was watching Dave at the time. And he was saying, like, yo, Ramy might be worse than Dave. Like, as a person.
Oh, yeah, he is.
I don't know, Dave's pretty bad, but like Ramy is just like, dude, stop. But it's so funny. It's such a funny show. Humor is great. I haven't seen Ramy's. I think is he a stand-up comedian?
I think he does stand up.
Yeah. I hadn't seen any of his stuff before, but I thought, I keep hearing about the show. Let me try it.
He got a Golden Globe for it, and I think he got or he was nominated for a Primetime Emmy.
Nice. He's very good. He's very funny. He has a weird likability.
He does.
And I want him to do better, but he keeps disappointing me, but I can't give up on him.
Yeah, no. You can't give up on him.
But yeah, he's great. His family is interesting. They all have their own stuff that they go through. And I like that the show isn't just Ramy. Like, we have episodes about his mom and her trying to navigate the new world that we're in. She's an older Muslim woman. She doesn't know everything that you might need to know to navigate this world. It's like she's an Uber driver, but she doesn't know how to address someone who goes by they, them pronouns. So she gets into a situation that is troubling. Oh. And then, his sister is going through being the younger sister in a household of color where they might favor the boy and give him special treatment. But then also she has her own issues that she has to deal with. So it's a really good show. They have the family stuff. They have the comedy. Mahershala Ali is fantastic. Yeah. He comes in season 2 and he brings an element that's really great. Yep. I love him so much. It's a great show. It's very funny. It's very troubling. Gab, I want to talk more off mic because so many things I watched in the show and I'm like, yo, these niggas are wildin'.
But I watched the show a while ago when it came out, so I might have forgotten some things.
Oh, I'll remind you.
See, that's great because what's going to happen is he'll remind you and then you'll do that thing that you do where you scream like really loud, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Probably.
All right, yeah, that's Ramy. Moving on.
Colin, do you have anything, man?
I do not.
Okay.
No, that boy ain't got nothing.
I was just double checking. You know
I mean,
you have to double check on the podcast, not outside of it.
Oh, true. You might trick him into talking about something.
I don't trick people into doing anything.
We've heard you finesse Colin into speaking before.
Finesse is a much better word for what I do.
Manipulate that boy.
I wouldn't use manipulate. That's harsh. Anyway, so I'm going to do what I did during the Black Widow episode. I'm going to talk about comics that I've been reading. And I'm going to be recommending comics that I was reading in anticipation for The Batman. For anybody who is interested in getting into Batman comics, I'm going to try and go through this as quickly as possible. I'm really just going to name off the comics and give their synopses and who wrote them and stuff like that.
Dope.
Also, all the synopsis that I'm grabbing, I got from Amazon, because Amazon has now merged with Comixology, which is typically the place where I get my comics. I've also kind of edited them down to a degree. So first up, Batman Year One, written by Frank Miller with art by David Mazzucchelli. In 1986, Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli produced this groundbreaking reinterpretation of the origin of Batman, who he is and how he came to be. Written shortly after The Dark Knight Returns, Miller's dystopian fable of Batman's final days, Year One set the stage for a new vision of a legendary character. It's a really good comic, highly recommended. There are quite a number of things in the Batman that are certainly inspired by this comic. Also the same with the Dark Knight trilogy as well. If you guys like those, definitely check out Batman Year One.
Yeah.
The next one, The Long Halloween, written by Jeff Loeb and with art by Tim Sale. Working with District Attorney Harvey Dent and Lieutenant James Gordon, Batman races against the clock as he tries to discover who Holiday is before he claims his next victim each month. A mystery that has the reader continually guessing the identity of the killer, this story also ties into the events that transform Harvey Dent into Batman's deadly enemy, Two-Face.
Hey.
Really, really good one. Super good. And then we have Dark Victory, which is the follow-up to The Long Halloween, written by Jeff Loeb with art by Tim Sale. It is early in Batman's crime-fighting career when James Gordon, Harvey Dent, and the Vigilante himself were all just beginning their roles as Gotham's protectors. Once a town controlled by organized crime, Gotham City suddenly finds itself being run by lawless freaks, such as Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, and the Joker. Witnessing his city's dark evolution, the Dark Knight completes his transformation into the city's greatest defender. He faces multiple threats, including the seeming return of a serial killer called Holiday. Hey. So the question remains, who is committing Holiday's crimes this time, and how many will die before Batman learns the truth? This also has the, I guess it's a retelling of the origin of Dick Grayson's Robin.
Oh,
which
nice.
is very interesting.
I like that story.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really cool. And then we have Batman, Ego, and Other Tales, which might be my favorite of the ones that I'm recommending. Written by Darwin Cook, with art also done by Darwin Cook.
Nice.
Ego remains a stunning debut, a psychologically loaded tale in which Bruce Wayne confronts his innermost fears in the form of a grotesque embodiment of his costumed alter ego. Besides Ego and a handful of shorter stories featuring the Caped Crusader, this collection includes the Catwoman graphic novel Selina's Big Score, in which that villainess attempts a final heist before her reinvention as a vigilante defending the downtrodden. Ego's definitely my favorite. I love watching Bruce Wayne have this very psychological battle with Batman.
Right.
I think it's very, very cool. The art is very interesting to look at. There are some quotes in there that I'm just like, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, you writing out here, man. You is writing. So from what I understand, Batman Year One, Batman The Long Halloween, and Batman Ego were the three comics that were most inspirational to the Batman. So
Okay,
those are the
gotcha.
ones.
Okay.
Those are like, if you go watch the trailer and you get to the end of the trailer, those are the three comic books that DC is recommending that you check out after the trailer is over.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And then other comics that I've been reading, just to wrap this up. I also read Batman The Court of Owls by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, Batman The City of Owls by Scott Snyder and James Tynion IV, and the current Batman Catwoman series by Tom King and Clay Mann, which features Andrea Beaumont, aka Phantasm, in her first comic appearance since Mask of the Phantasm.
Love it.
Ooh.
And I love Mask of the Phantasm. I also watched that
So
in preparation, and I love Andrea. So I was like, is there a comic with her in it? And so I just started reading these. And
That's dope.
Okay.
I love her. She's
that's
so good.
that's another thing I really like about the Batman, is that I could see this Batman and this Catwoman growing older into the version that are in the Batman Catwoman series.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also they also don't have to, because there are certain things about that comic that break my heart and I don't like. But I'm also currently reading Batman Birth of the Demon by Mike W. Barr and Dennis O'Neil, because I'm curious about Bruce and Talia's relationship, and that's feeding into that curiosity. And then I'm also planning to read Hush by Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee, and Scott Williams next, now that I finally own it, because it cost $40 and it's on sale now, and it was $13. So I was like,
damn,
yeah, let's
yes,
go.
deal.
Save your money, black girl.
Saved my money. So yeah, Hush is next up on my list. I love Jim Lee's art, so I'm super excited to read that one once I finish Birth of the Demon.
Nice.
So there you go. A bunch of Batman comics for you guys to check out if you're interested.
Did you see the Hush reference in the Batman?
I did.
I like
How
it.
could you miss it?
It was very clear, but I loved it.
I'm wondering if that's where we're headed next, actually.
Could be. That'd be cool. I'm looking forward to figuring out.
I'll talk more with you about that movie
Yes,
off
we'll have
mic.
some off mic
There are
conversations.
things that I want to just. I'm like, there are comic references I want to discuss.
Yes. But speaking of things we love, Atlanta got a trailer. So we're going to start our trailer tracking with Atlanta because I love this show so much.
Yes, Atlanta. I got to be honest about this. I'm tired of trailers. I just want the show to come out. Like, you guys were like, a new Atlanta trailer. And I was like, I just want the show to be out already. Okay.
I definitely want the show to be out already.
I have a question though. Isn't this the first trailer we've gotten?
No.
Oh, whoops.
I think this is the longest. I think
It is the longest.
Oh.
And
you
it's
know
the
there's
most-
always like teaser, trailer, first look, reel, clip.
Oh, okay.
Okay, fine. If we're going to go by
Picture.
that description, it's the first trailer. But we've gotten
Yeah.
a teaser.
Yeah, we've seen things from the season, but you know, there are so many different ways that they classify trailers and stuff now. But I'm hyped. I'm so hyped. And I've been rewatching season 2, and I'm about to watch Teddy Perkins.
Oh, Lord.
I
am
wait.
intrigued to see.
Perkins is in season 1.
No, that's season 2. I am intrigued to see them take the Atlanta out of the Atlanta and put it in Europe.
Yeah, like bro, so it's got Atlanta. Y'all doing what looks like the whole season in Europe,
Definitely.
and it's gonna get so weird.
I'm so excited.
It
I've
already looks
seen...
super weird.
It's so weird.
It's just it's so weird because Atlanta started off as like a comedy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now I'm like, I don't know what we're doing, but like
It's like a dark psychological comedy.
Yeah, and even in the beginning, it was surreal, but
Yeah. That's
Man.
more what it is. It's a surreal dark comedy.
it's gotten
Right.
more surreal than comedy.
Yes.
I feel like there are definitely episodes because I feel like
Teddy
most of
Perkins.
season 2. Yeah, I feel like most of season 2 is still more comedic, but then you have moments like Teddy Perkins,
The Woods.
That was
Woods.
an entire episode. Those were entire episodes.
You know what I'm saying? Like in the grand scheme
Like-
of the seasons, like we have like 9 episodes. These 2 aren't
No,
funny.
3, because there was also that German.
What, Helen?
Yes.
Helen is funny. It's
No,
super
it's
weird.
not.
I just watched
so
it like a few
weird.
days ago. It's
It's so
extremely weird
uncomfortable.
and uncomfortable, but it's not Teddy Perkins.
No, it's not Teddy Perkins, but it's like the lead into Teddy Perkins. It's like
Honestly, it's funny because
it's like let me prep you for what
the
Teddy
order-
Perkins will be.
the order of the episodes is there's Helen and then there's the barbershop episode and then there's Teddy Perkins. And I had recently watched the barbershop episode with my family because I wanted to show it to them. I was like, oh, yo, we got to see this episode. So I was thinking about skipping it because I watched it recently.
No.
But then I thought, I don't want to go from Helen to Teddy
No,
Perkins.
You can't. You
I need that
can't.
buffer.
You need a buffer. They did it perfectly.
But-
they were like some weird surreal darkness. Okay, an entire episode of silly levity. Now the darkness that is Ted Perkins.
Right. And then after Teddy Perkins, we get Champagne Poppy. So they're
Yes.
doing the alternate. But Helen uses this, like, the weirdness for comedy.
Yeah.
Like, the kind of stuff that happens in Teddy Perkins. Like,
It's
when they're
just-
playing ping pong.
It's just to unsettle
And it's,
you.
like, it's dramatic and it's uncomfortable. And, you know, that's Ernest being a dick. And he says, why'd you do that? Like, you know, I'll just destroy you in front of everybody. And I was going to say Zazie. And Van says, we're the only ones here. And Ern points. And there's a guy in a baby mask just standing there silently.
No.
I remember that.
No.
But it's funny because she's, oh my God, was he there the whole time? And Ern just nods. And it's so creepy, but they use it as a joke. And that's the difference because Teddy Perkins in the woods ain't jokes. It's just scary.
Scary.
I just-
extremely sad.
Atlanta has definitely changed the landscape of what a comedy can be.
Yes. Because even saying that, there are hilarious moments in Teddy Perkins.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of that is
Teddy
really,
Perkins
really funny.
himself is a very creepy character, but also extremely funny.
Right.
like the listing of fathers.
Yes.
My father, Joe Jackson, Marvin Gaye Sr., Tiger Woods' father, Serena Williams' father, the father that drops off Emilio Estevez in the Breakfast Club.
Does. I hate that I now have to go look up that sound bite so I can put it in
Oh,
the
yeah.
Yes, I love that we saw it.
Oh.
Oh, but yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I need more Atlanta in my life. But yeah, that's Atlanta. Colin, any thoughts?
Not really. I wasn't planning on watching it, so
Oh.
I don't rock with Lakeith.
Oh, right.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it has been, what, 4 years since season 2 came out?
What was that?
3 years?
2018?
2 years?
Yeah, it came out 2018.
4 years?
That's been 4 years.
A lot has changed in the last 4 years.
And doesn't it take place immediately after season 2.
Yes.
Well, because
Yeah,
they were getting
'cause
on
they're
a plane
to
at the
go
end.
to Europe.
Yeah, and now season 3, they're in Europe.
I'm trying to figure out how they got Van going with them. What?
Yeah, I want to know
That's
that.
a good point.
And where's their child? But yeah,
Another good point. They have a daughter.
She's in the storage unit.
oh Lord. I mean, like Ern has parents.
That's true.
True.
Erin's parents do typically watch her.
Yeah, they
when
like
can.
Lottie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what's gonna happen.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I can't wait. But yeah, speaking of weird things, with Sassy Beats and Brian Tyree Henry,
Yes.
we got a trailer for a movie called Bullet Train.
Y'all
Yo.
really think it's weird?
I think
it
it's
looks-
going to
It
be.
looks quirky.
I
See,
was
it
like,
looks
it looks
to
a little
me-
eccentric for most current action movies, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure if I think it's.
I'm
I don't
kind
think
of
it's gonna be
excited
like
about it.
A24 weird,
Oh, definitely
No.
not.
No.
but I think there's gonna be like some weird humor. Yeah, quirky is probably a better word because I watched this and I think,
It's the
I wonder what
Zoe
they're gonna do with
Deschanel of action movies.
To me, it looks like
Just kidding.
Murder on the Orient Express, but more emphasis on the murder.
fair murder on the bullet
That's
train.
funny because to me it looks like John Wick, but funnier. But it should look like John Wick.
Yeah.
It's done by David Leitch. He's the guy who directed John Wick, and he
Oh.
directed Atomic Blonde, and he
Deadpool
directed
2.
Deadpool
Ooh.
2, and he
Yeah,
directed
I'm
Hobbs and
super
Shaw.
excited.
That
I like all of his action.
That explains the cinematography too. The neon, the blue and
He does
red
like that
and-
vibe.
Yeah, that explains that whole vibe. Love it. Yes, for me.
Yeah, I was watching the trailer and I was just like, "Yep, looks like a David Leitch movie to me."
Also, to my Latino listeners, our beloved Benito is in this. Bad Bunny's in it. He's playing Mexican, but he's in it. Bad Bunny's Puerto Rican. Yeah.
They gave him a belt buckle that says Mexico on
Yep. And he's wearing basically like a charro outfit. Like he looks like a little bit like he's evoking mariachi.
it. All right, that's the thing to do. But yeah, speaking of that, the cast is so fire. Like Brad Pitt, Joey King, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Brian Tyree Henry, Michael Shannon, Bad Bunny, Sassy Beats, Logan Lerman, Karen Fukuhara, another woman who I'm not going to say because we don't see her face in the trailer, so I'm guessing she's supposed to be a reveal.
Oh yeah. I recognized her voice though.
I did not, but then I saw when I looked up the Wikipedia, I was like, oh, that's her, which is cool. I'm so excited. I love Brian Tyree Henry, Sassy Beats, most of those people I just said.
It was funny because, Brian Tyree Henry pops up at the beginning of the trailer. I was watching them back to back. So I watched the Atlanta trailer first. And then I was like, oh, Brian Tyree Henry's in this. All right, cool. And then Zazie popped up later. And I was like, the Atlanta cast can't not work together except when Atlanta is involved. Then they don't want to film.
That's why they're ending it in season 4. They just couldn't do it anymore.
They're like, no, we're not doing this no more.
See, I think what happened
Right.
is they saw a screener of Teddy Perkins and they were like, we can't let this keep going. This is psychologically damaging.
We
Like,
need to stop this.
We can keep working together, just not doing this.
They saw Ern dressed up as Teddy Perkins, and they thought the same thing I thought about Paul Dano. Like, we might need to lock him up. We'll give him 2 more seasons, and then we need to get as far away from this man as possible. But yeah, Bullet Train looks super fun. Brad Pitt looks like he's having the time of his life fighting Bad Bunny. Dude, I don't even know you.
I do
You
want
ruined my life.
I do want to say that Brad Pitt looks like he is genuinely just having a good time with his career right
Oh
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I won the Oscar. I'm done.
Yeah.
Do whatever I want.
He's like he produces really great content, really great movies that usually have a message, something important to say.
Yeah.
And then he's out here just acting and stuff that just is fun for him to do.
Yeah.
So like
dude,
he's
talk about range.
he's got like the Lost City coming out, and that looks like he's having a great time there. And then he's got this, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen Brad Pitt do stuff like this except for that one time he guest starred on Friends.
Or like the Deadpool cameo.
Yeah, it was Vanisher. That was fantastic.
Like he's just having a good time with his career right now. And you know what? Go ahead, man. You worked hard for this.
He's great. I can't wait to see. I want to see what they're gonna do with everybody. It's one of those movies that I wish the trailer would have come out last year because it definitely would have been on my most anticipated list.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited. I think it comes out in July.
That's always
July, yeah.
That's always the fun of when we do our favorite movies list at the end of the year, because then we get to talk about the movies that we didn't know were coming.
Yeah.
Like, oh, didn't know anything about this, but
Or
it
the
was
movie
great.
that you're like, I'll pop this on, and you're like, this is my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what happened with me and The Green Knight.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
That happened with me and The Gentleman in 2020. I did not know anything about that movie going in, except that a bunch of British people were in it.
That's what happened with me and Dune being number 2 on my list.
freaking Dune, man.
Most anticipated is for, here are all the big movies coming out next year that we're excited for. But then our favorite movie of the year is like, so guess what, guys? We saw some other movies, and
They were better to me.
They were great.
Oh, also the little touch of staying alive, changing language.
That was my favorite part.
It's so good.
I was like, oh, it's in Japanese. Great. And then I was like, wait, why do I understand it all of a sudden? It's in Spanish.
She was like, "Where my language translator suddenly is."
Right, like, wait, I know what they're saying. But yeah, that's dope.
That was a nice touch.
All right, so everything on our news section is something that I love. Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan are producing and starring in an I Am Legend sequel. I Am Confusion, because Will Smith blew himself up at the end of I Am Legend.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I forgot that even happened. The last time I saw that movie. Okay, hear me out. Last time I saw that movie was in a theater when it came out.
Oh, like 14 years ago.
Like 2006.
So, because I saw it and I left the theater with my dad and my uncle, and I looked at the highway and I was paranoid that those little monster things were gonna come out of anywhere. So I
Dude,
never watched that movie again.
The
makes
wildest
sense.
feat of that movie was that they really evacuated like 2 blocks in New York. Like wild.
I was
That
like,
would never happen now.
no. So I didn't remember how that movie ended. I remember the dog dying. That's it.
Oh yeah, that was tragic.
Man, that made me so mad.
He basically blew himself up to save the 2, and then they took the cure to the
maybe
colony.
Yeah.
we'll
He didn't need to, but he did.
Well, maybe
He
okay.
kind of did.
No, he
They
didn't.
were cornered, I thought.
Throw the grenade. You don't need to hold it. It's a grenade.
You're right. You're right.
So number one, they could be retconning the ending.
It's funny because there was a different ending that not everyone, but a lot of people like better, where he doesn't die. But the
Oh.
theatrical version blows himself up.
Number two, didn't he like record himself making like survival audios? I don't remember.
Yeah, he did.
He was
like,
making.
just take
Yeah, he was doing
himself.
like video logs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a scientist. He's trying to figure out the cure and all that.
So yeah, Michael B. Jordan. Maybe Michael B. Jordan is just watching his video logs. Maybe those have gotten out to help
there
people
you
survive.
go. There you go.
Good point.
There you go.
That's a way that you can bring Will Smith back without actually having to retcon the ending that you already gave the first
Yeah,
movie.
exactly. Yeah, good.
I'd rather they retcon it because I want him to be alive. But
That too.
your that way makes more sense.
Hey
Yeah.
guys, it's not like I am not trying to do this for a living or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Like you're not a
not like I'm
screenwriter.
It's not like I'm working towards becoming a writer.
I also think
Hire
something
me.
interesting post-COVID.
Yes.
I Am Legend is very different, especially because
No, that's a true story.
right, and because the way it happens in I Am Legend was it was a cure or a vaccination that did all this.
There's a cure for cancer and a virus.
Yeah,
Yeah, we gotta stop making movies like that, guys. Definitely in this day and age, we should definitely not do that anymore.
but yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I hope they don't kill a dog. Please don't kill a dog.
Oh, that was
Never
so
kill a
sad.
dog. They better not.
And then he had to like kill it himself. Oh, it was tragic.
It was bad.
I'm still
It
not.
was
That
sad.
scene rocked me.
Yeah.
I almost walked out. I have a ride home because I was like 13.
I was gonna say, at the age of like what, 12?
It was 2007, so we were like freshmen in high school.
Okay, we were like 14, 15.
But like everybody in high school was talking about it. It was a really big movie.
Well, it came out in the summer, so
Oh.
I know it came out in the summer because I was across the country when I watched
okay.
it. So
Oh, look at you
I
being
was
global.
I was on the East Coast. It's not global.
That feels global. This is a big ass country.
Oh, you said across the country.
Yeah.
I
Not
thought
across the
you
world.
said another country, but no, across. That's still cool.
I mean,
you're,
it might as well.
Yeah,
be
you
another
traveled.
country, man.
you're cultured.
On the
Nah.
other side.
They got different culture over there.
What else we got on the news?
Let's talk about the after party again.
Yes, let's go.
It got
Benoit
renewed.
Blanc Part 2, but Danner this time.
All of that. It got renewed for season 2 at Apple, and Tiffany Haddish is back, baby.
Which means I'll probably end up watching season 1 because I just like Tiffany Haddish.
She's so
She's
good.
great. She's.
I think this is my favorite Tiffany Haddish role.
Me too.
You know Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah.
Colin throwing stuff over there. He was like, no, this is not your favorite Tiffany Haddish role. I refuse. It's Night School.
Night school stuff.
I was gonna say,
It's
did you see
Keanu.
Night School?
I didn't see Night School.
You know me. I'm always gonna go to bat for night school.
It's Keanu.
Yeah, we know Tiffany Haddish has her vibe, and she's made a career out of that for the most part. And this is that, but also I'm a extremely competent police detective.
Yeah.
ACAB, this and that. But she's a very cool character, and I like her. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what they're going to do next, because I love anthologies. I love when you can tell me a different story with different people. The cast of this one is fantastic. I'm sure they're going to get another great cast, the way that Knives Out is doing for Knives Out, too.
And the way that the Agatha
Dano.
Christie,
Yeah.
what's that man's name?
Poirot.
Poirot. The way that Poirot's movies keep getting,
Hercules
Get-
Portos?
yeah, he's getting a third movie too, by the way.
He is. The mustache coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, yay. For you guys, I haven't seen them.
All the murder mysteries just coming back.
Woo! I mean, clearly people love them.
You like period pieces and murder. Why didn't
I
you
know.
watch it?
Stop it. I don't like murder. I don't know. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Oh, I think you'd like it. But yeah, Chris Miller says that he said the next story is gonna be wild. So
Ooh.
I'm looking forward to seeing what
excited.
he deems wild because he got pretty wild on this one.
Also, like, I want to see if they're gonna explore different genres now. Are they gonna do?
Oh yeah, if they
Like-
do that again, but I mean,
Oh, can't wait.
yeah,
Yay.
give me that A24 episode.
Give
See,
me
the
and like
thing
Josh
is-
Safdie and Uncut Gems.
I feel like you say give me the A24 episode, but do you like A24 movies?
Some of them.
Some of them.
Okay, that's fair.
The Green Knight is fantastic.
Dallas hasn't seen that one.
No, this voice that you were just doing.
Yeah. You don't know what that's from?
I have an idea.
Oh,
It's Julia Fox.
Okay, I was gonna say is that Julia Fox saying that like
Going Uncut
she was
Gems.
yeah. Okay. I was like, is that Julia Fox? It is Julia Fox. Hey Julia, you're not listening. All right, that's our news. Unless you guys have anything else to say, Colin, are you gonna try season 2?
Yeah.
Dope. And to me, I think you will as well. I think you'll enjoy it. You like Tiffany Haddish. She's great.
I like Tiffany Haddish. I like murder mysteries, to be fair.
Oh, cool. You like murder like that?
No. Because I
She
don't
likes murder mysteries.
I don't like
Got it,
true
got it.
crime probably.
Even if she did like murder, I don't think anyone likes murder like Gabby.
Fair.
I do not
Gabby's
like
the
murder.
biggest murder fan that we know.
Stop it.
All right, that is the episode.
Thank you guys
We did
again for joining us.
Woo woo.
As always, thank you so much for listening. This has been a long one, but you knew that because you clicked the Batman and you knew we were gonna have a lot to say about it.
As we
Especially
do
to
with
me.
all superhero movies.
Yeah, that's our thing. Except for Colin. He's the difference. Thank you, Crown Digital, Brandon, and Io for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Demi, thank you for editing and putting us on YouTube, bringing all of that Batman fandom that you brought.
Yep.
Which is funny because Batman's not even like, I don't even think he's top 5 DC characters.
Yeah,
for
he's
me.
not your favorite.
But you got into him the last couple months. You did some research.
I like I'm a casual Batman fan. I think Batman's cool.
Yeah, I love Batman. It's my dude. Also, I didn't. I was gonna say I expected you to thirst more, but you don't really do that on mic as much.
No, she gonna do it.
It would have been Rob, actually.
What, for real?
Right. Do you
I've
know
been
Demi like white boys?
thirsting over Rob Pattinson since Cedric Diggory.
Okay, I know Demi likes white boys because Henry Cavill.
I think we've also discussed that on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Where were we? Thank you, Gabby, for finishing the after party. 'Cause Colin didn't,
Gotcha.
so we could talk about
I've
it.
just
Calm
been
down.
lying in bed for days, so I needed to.
That's honestly why I watched Ramy, because
Aw.
I had COVID.
Oh, shit.
What?
Remember when I had COVID?
Oh, this is back
Yeah.
in May.
Yeah, I watched this months ago.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's been waiting.
I've been waiting. Marion hit me with that ice box, and I was like, I need something to watch. Got 2 seasons of Ramy right here on Hulu. Anyway, Colin, thank you for sitting through a 3-hour Batman movie, because I know that's not what you like to do with your time.
Proud of you.
But you did it for us, the people, and we love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. It's not the first 3-hour movie I've sat through. Unfortunately, it probably won't be the last. That said, Scorsese doesn't get it.
Oh, damn.
That's fair.
Calling out good old Marty.
Yeah, Colin's not a big fan of old Italian man committing crime.
Except for the Penguin.
I guess he.
Played by Irish.
I was gonna say, is Cobblepot Italian?
Nah,
With that
sounds
accent?
English.
He reads it Italian to me because I kept waiting for him to go, hey!
Forget about it. Anyway, audience, what do you think of the Batman? What about the after party? Do you think Paul Dano should be locked up?
No.
Let us know in the comments or hit us on Twitter at y'all_different, Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast, or Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC. One last time, if you want to talk to me about the DCAU, find me on Twitter and or Instagram at a king named Simba. I say one last time, but I'm going to say that every time we talk about a DC thing.
Hi, my name's Gabby, and you could talk to me about the after party on Instagram at Stegosaurus.
I don't know. Talk to me about Penguin. That scene, it hit in a way that the rest of the movie just didn't. But that scene, give me that show right now. Anyway, you can find me on Twitter at DuckMcGuck.
I feel like that should tell you everything you need to know about what Colin enjoys in life.
Does it?
Yes.
I'm still unsure.
I'm unsure, but I'm a little bit more confident. If you guys want to talk to me about why I think these characterizations are the best Batman characterizations we've gotten in live action, you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Dreamy Films. Dreamy is spelled DREEMI. Thank you guys again for joining us. Tune in a few days. We will be doing a Fancast Friday for Batman villains.
Yes.
Yeah. It's been different. Bye.
Bye. And rest in peace, Robert.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Splash Zone. Gabby, tell us about Taika Waititi.
Oh my god, this is wrong. It's the salt and pepper of it all, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Splash Zone.